Okay. I am still wrestling with getting my setup, but I think I have it. I think I have somebody in here. Whoops. If you come in, say hello to me. I'm just getting started. I'm wrestling with my setup. But that happens every week. Oh, it's Janet. Hi, Janet. Hi, it's good to see you. I think I've started this video about 4 times tonight trying to get the screen to rotate right. At least I am to the point to where I know it's either this way or that way. Hi, Nancy. Good to see you. So hello to everybody who's coming in. If you come in, wave at me. Say hello. I'm just getting a good start on this. I am going to do more reverse. Oh, thank you. And you know what? Oh, Lillian, hi there. It's good to see you. Hello to everybody. I'm hoping that the pixelation is better than it's been in the last few videos. I don't see it here, but I do get a message that says your connection's not good. I have not gotten that message tonight. I have done some adjusting on my settings. I went to Verizon and asked them, and they showed me where I could connect better to a local tower rather than a global tower. And I'm hoping that that's going to help the pixelation, but I won't guarantee it. So anyway, I am going to continue working in this art journal. And this is the page that I've chosen to work on tonight. I have my photo that I'm going to put on there. I wanted to talk just a little bit about what is reverse collage, because there's been some questions in the comments, and I always refer in the comments back to Dee Dee Willingham. I first learned about reverse collage by watching a video that Rosemary Morris had up there on her channel. And of course she referred back to Dee Dee Willingham. But what reverse collage is, and probably everybody in this chat, in this live session knows, that reverse collage is an instance where instead of cutting out your image on the page and removing it from the background area and gluing it down on another page, such as what I did here, it is painting around the image, leaving the image on its page, painting around it, and painting out the areas that you do not want on the page. I was going to show this. I know I've talked about this in other videos and probably have shown it in another live session, but I do have this flower book that I'm working in, and I have painted out the text on these pages. Like on this one, there's text. I'll come in and paint out, and I'll probably bring the gold tones over and maybe some of the olive greens. But you can see on some of these pages, like there's greens in here, and so I brought out the green over on these pages. So that's the technique and the premise behind reverse collage. Then you go ahead and you do your art journaling here. Whatever you're going to do, you have prepped your page to work here. That doesn't mean that you can't come over on here and do more artwork. Just depends on what you want to do. Did you see? My desktop is now brown craft paper again. This is just a big old row of, hi Lottie. Hi, it's nice to see you. Just a big old roll of brown craft paper that I taped to the bottom of it. And there was a question, I think Lucia McGill asked, because I was doing, on most of my drop papers, I'll just turn them over and work on the other side. And she says, well, Meri, you're going to get into that quandary again, is do you use the art on this side or the art on that side? And I didn't respond to her comment, but my thought was, when it's my own art, it's not such a hard decision. I either like something that I did on one side of the page or the other. I very seldom have art that I like on opposite sides of the page. So when it's my own art, it's an easy call. It's when you find really neat pictures that you don't want to mess up. Hi, Lucia. Did you hear me talk about the drop paper? I just finished. I think it was you who asked about the drop paper because I was doing it on both sides, and you were saying, oh, you're going to have to... I'm back, but oh, there. Sorry. That will happen. I don't know, I lose connection somehow. I was hoping that wouldn't happen because I'm on a different tower. I saw somebody come in. I don't know how to pronounce your name from Poland. Reverse Collage, you want to know what reverse collage is? How do you pronounce your name? Do you have a name that, like Edith, or I want to say Endermine123 Gamer. I'll call you Gamer for now, because that's easier for me to pronounce. Hi, Kathy. Okay, Lucia, I'll get back to your question. I want to go back, clear back to reverse collage, because I think it was Gamer who was asking about what reverse collage was. And reverse collage is where you're working on it in an art journal or an altered book such as this. And instead of cutting out an image, so this is the back of the image that I'm going to use tonight. I don't want to flip it over yet. But you can see I've cut it out. Well, with collage, you would put it down on your page and glue it down. With reverse collage, instead of cutting out your image, such as we did here, and gluing it down, you paint around the image. And hi, Janet. Again, you paint out the areas on the pages that you don't want. Such as I did over here. I painted out all the white areas in here. I kept the text, and then I did collage a photo because I'm doing that technique throughout this entire book. I am collaging down these really neat black and white photos that I really like. On the play ball one, well, on this one too, we painted out all in here and tried to draw out the colors. The blue from the blues in here, the yellows from the yellows in here. The play ball one, the blue, the green, there was green down in here. I used the pinstripes that I did here. I picked them off of the shirt. I did go back and add some yellow on this picture because I only had just a little teeny bit of yellow there. But that is the premise, the technique of reverse collage, is instead of me cutting out this figure and collaging him down on another page, you leave it there and paint out what you don't want and then do art around that. This is the page I'm going to work on today. Now, getting back to Lucia, Lucia, when we were talking about working on the drop paper, and Lucia said, oh, don't work on both sides of the paper. You'll get back into that quandary of what side to use. And she mentioned that in the comments, and I don't think I answered her in the comments, but my immediate thought was, when it's my own art, it's not a hard decision. Because usually with my own art, I'll either like one side or the other. So I'm going to continue doing the backs and the fronts. I put on clean. This is just brown craft paper. It's almost like grocery bag paper. It's thick. It's not thin. It's not a thin paper, and I really like it because of that. But it is very absorbent, such as a grocery bag that you would if you get paper bags at your grocery store. So I am ready to start on this page, and what this entire book is all about art. This is a Childcraft 1974 Encyclopedia, and I've been altering it as an altered book, and I'm trying to do all the pages with that same technique of painting out areas, leaving the original art, like this was done by Renoir, and then adding a photograph, such as I did here, and then doing some of my own art around in there. So the picture that I'm going to work on today is this one. And this is, I like to kind of read the little, it's not a poetry, it's kind of like a little explaining the art over on this side. And it's talking about going to the store can be a chore. So can be walking the dog or doing any small job that you do. Sometimes you get paid for doing chores, but most of the time you don't. You got to remember that they're talking to children here. In France, where people live, fresh baked bread every day. People like fresh baked bread every day. Bringing home a loaf from the bakery is one of the most common chores. And this is a painting done by Red Grooms, Grooms, an extension of a painting on wood done in 1963. So, what I'm going to do is the concept of reverse collage, and I'm going to get my fingers messy. You can see there's a lot of blue in here, a hint of red in this house. Hi, Joanne and Deborah. It's good to see you both. Some yellow in this house, kind of greenish gray down here on the Pebblestone Street, kind of a gray sidewalk, a little red dress. But I like this blue. But I'm not sure I want that dark blue all around here, so I think I'll do some light blue. Prominent kind of yellow ochre browns for the bread in this house. So I'm going to use this color and this color, and I may use a little white to lighten that blue. And this is the point to where I'm going to get messy. And I'm going to try to keep this fairly simple. Oh, what I wanted to do, I already put paint on my page, but I think I'm okay. What I wanted to do was, this is just a marker that I got at the Dollar Tree. I just kind of want to draw very well past bedtime. I'll bet it is. You are up into the wee hours of the morning, Joanne. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's a loaf of French bread, Lillian, that he's carrying, because it's talking about the people in France. They like their fresh baked bread every day, and so do I. But I'm not going to make a French loaf here, because with my drawing I'm just going to put a slice kind of like that around the text. Hi, Artista. I think I'm going to call you Jackie. And I'm just going to do the good old American slice of bread here. Just to kind of isolate that text. So do we. Yeah. That is some long bread. That's almost like a submarine sandwich, a 6 foot long subway submarine sandwich. I want to put a little blue on here. And a little yellow here. I cleaned out my fine liners this afternoon and refilled them all. I want a tiny bit of green. And this green is old. This is older paint. I don't know if I'm going to get any out. Jackie, I'm going to call it Arista Jackie. I'm going to call you Jackie. This is a Childcraft Encyclopedia. I talked about it at the beginning of this video. I've got another one here. I've been working in altering. This is a similar one. And you can see I've already cut this one up to get the pictures that I'm using. Came out of here. And I've already disassembled this one. This one was done in the 1960s. I'll never be able to pronounce it right. I want to say Arista or Arista. Can I call you Artie? But it's a Childcraft Encyclopedia. Now the one I'm working in is all about art. That other one was about raising children. And it was really not for children as much as it was about parenting techniques. Almost like the 1964 version of the Parent magazine. Whatever is easy for you. I'm going to call you Art. Artie or you can message me and tell me the correct pronunciation. I stumble over names, believe me. I'm going to bring a little of this down in here to kind of coordinate with that. Maybe a little of the blue. And I'm just basically, I think I'm going to try to leave, I've been painting out the artist's name, mostly because I'm not paying attention. Let's see if I can bring that bread, that loaf of bread, clear down here. And of course, when I do these live, I always feel like I have to go back after I'm done, and I'm always reworking them, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. Let's see if I can't center this book a little bit more. And I want to say too, if my session pops off and I disappear, I'll come right back. So don't go away. I think what happens is my phone loses its data connection. I am working on getting Wi-Fi. It's not going to happen for 3 or 4 weeks. But once I get Wi-Fi, hopefully that won't be an issue anymore. And look, I put wax paper here, and I'm not even using it. I want to say welcome to everybody who's come in. If I missed you when you come in, welcome anyway. Hopefully I'll see you later as I'm working here. The comments kind of pop up and then they disappear on me, and they come back if I touch the screen. I'm using my phone to record with, but I don't want to touch the screen too much because I've got painty hands. So, let's see. I think I still want to oops. And you might see it looks like the table's wiggling. That's because I bumped my camera off my head. It's kind of right in front of my nose, and I think that's why my voice sounds louder in the live sessions, because when I'm just recording, I'm seated down and my voice, like I'm standing back away from the camera now, and my voice isn't right over the camera. So I'm still learning things. Maybe as I do these live sessions for several months, I'll improve on them. Is anybody pixelating? In and out? The picture quality, how is it for you? It's not doing anything for me, but I don't see it until after I review the video. For some reason it looks fine to me. And then I go back and look at the video after it's all processed and it's not such a great quality. I'm not going to get that. I'm just going to paint it out. So this is a loaf of bread here, and I'm just going to, just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. And I'll improve that loaf of bread, but right now, right now I'm not going to worry about it too much. A little bit more blue. Not that much more. I'll cut it on my drop paper. It's a oh, it's on and off pixelating. I'm sorry. It was fine until I asked. Yeah, next time I won't ask. Yeah, I think once I go to Wi-Fi and get off of this data, because I'm on data and it has to hit the cell phone towers, and I think that's why every now and then my session ends on me, because it's lost its temporary connection. YouTube's still going though when I come back. Cat! My goodness. Hi, Cat Hand. How are you? I love it when people pop in and surprise me like that. Cat Hand and Shannon, Lucia, all of you gals, you're just too good to me. I've known Cat Hand for several years now too. I don't think I want to mess that up too much more. I'm going to come back in after this is dried and put some sandwichy things in there, although this is a loaf of bread. But we're going to make him a Subway sandwich. Now, I'm not going to get my hands entirely clean, but I do have I'm kind of wiping off my hands. Oh, thank you, Kat. I appreciate that. I have technical issues. But as I was saying, once I get back on Wi-Fi, I think that'll solve a lot of it. I still am wrestling with it getting into a landscape mode when I first start. Like, it took me a good half hour before I was able to get into a live session where I felt comfortable that it was showing you my desktop and laptop. And that's to do with my camera. That's not to do with YouTube or anything. I'm going to... This is sticky dry, but I'm going to use my heat gun and dry this. So I've had a really busy week. I didn't get any videos. Oh, that's okay, Kat. Karen, hi. It's good to see you, Karen. Karen and Janet. Kathy, they've been coming in, encouraging me every week. Lucia, good to see you too. I was just saying I had a really busy week this week. I usually try to get my videos done, but the last couple of days I haven't got any videos done, and I tell you, I miss it. I miss it. I've had to run errands the last couple days. This is kind of thick in there. I think that side's dry enough to work on. Aww. Thank you, Janet. Now this is the photo that I've chosen to put on here. And of course now this photo, I think is taken out of out of a history book. It's not taken out of a Childcraft Encyclopedia. I'm also getting images out of a history book. And I like it because of the size. But what this is to me, it's of a young man maybe in the 1920s, and he's having to do chores. He does not have a very happy face. And this is not a bread basket. Isn't that a neat image? Hi, Lucia. I understand that. Phone losing connection. So I could put some bread in there, but I think when I cut this, the article that I cut it out of was talking about like the Depression era. So he's kind of got a sad face, and I think this is kind of depicting the Depression era, but I think it fits on this page because he's carrying a basket, and you could almost imagine that he's got a loaf of bread in there. In fact, I may put a loaf of bread in there. And he doesn't look too happy about having to do the chores, and that's what this text is talking about. I'm going to read it again for those of you who come in and didn't hear it. It says, going to the store can be a chore. So can be walking the dog. I need a dog on here. Or doing any other small job that you do. Sometimes you get paid for doing chores, but most of the time you don't. In France, where the people like fresh baked bread every day, bringing it home a loaf from the bakery is one of the chores. Yeah, Lucia. Funny. So what I've been doing is I've been using this Scotch wrinkle-free glue stick, and this is the same one. This is the first one I've opened, and they say it's wrinkle-free, and I have not been putting a really good coat on. I put it there and place it on the page, and then after I'm done with going live and everything, I'll come back in and make sure it's all nice and glued down. So let me just go over here. Let me pull this out maybe, and put some glue on the back of this image. I really kind of like these photographs where it shows That's funny, Art. Well, at least it notified you. I really like these photos where the children have faces that are kind of crying, or, you know, they're not happy campers. I get such a kick out of them. And he does not look like a happy camper. Well, he does kind of have a smile on. It's more like a, he's not crying, but he still doesn't look like a happy camper to me. Yeah, well, thank you for coming 30 minutes early. I feel like I should be calling you Jackie. More Jackie. Hi, Patricia. Good to see you. I'm just going to put this image right in here. And I do have a paper towel to kind of glue him down. You know, I got white paint on there that I don't want. So instead of gluing him down, let's get another one. So this is kind of a simple answer to the reverse collage. I want to make this look more like a sandwich. I think I shortened it, Lillian, if you're still here. I think that loaf of bread came clear over here, but I shortened it to a Subway sandwich. And I'm just going to kind of make it look like a sandwich instead of a French loaf. Maybe he's going to an office party or something and going to share it with all his co-workers. Need some red in there for meat. I got these paint markers at Walmart. Lillian, that's funny. These are just generic paint markers. Who makes these? I think, excuse me for bumping the camera. Can't see. I think Plaid makes these, but I don't. Elmer's makes these. I get them at Walmart. So I want to kind of come in here and put some red for like tomato. Except for that yellow paint's kind of wet yet, but you aren't going to see a continuous, very long tomato. You'll just see little tomato slices. And it needs some green for the lettuce. That yellow in there is cheese. I really do. I like this too, Patricia. And you know, I'm finding that with this, you do not need to do... It's really a good project for a person who's beginning live sessions, because painting out this background really is not hard. And when you're dealing with everything else, and talking to people, and whoops, that's the white. Oh no, that hasn't been started yet. I just got these. I've got to prime this painter here. Well, let's put it this way. I got these a couple weeks ago, but I haven't used them all yet. Green is not a color I use a lot. This is the lettuce. Ooh, there's a lot of lettuce in this sandwich. There. Subway sandwich. Jackie, Artie, Jackie. Reverse collage is a term that I've heard first from Rosemary Morris, but she picked it up from Dee Dee Willingham. And what it is choosing a page that has images on it, and instead of cutting out the images like we did with this figure and collage it down, this is collage. This is kind of reverse collage. You paint around the areas on the page that you don't want. Say I didn't want the text in here, I would paint. Hi, Nikki. And Annie, hi. It's good to see you both. You would paint around the image that you want to keep. And you would paint it out, and then you would come back and do art around it. Such as we did on this page. I kept this image, but I painted all of the white area around here. I kept the text, and I collaged this photograph down here the same as I did this. But keeping an image on a page, such as you wanted to keep this, and painting it out, that is the reverse collage part of it. And then you can come in, after you've painted out what you don't want, you can come in and do art on it, like I've created these little fairies based off of the fairies that were on this photograph down here. I drew little fairies and collaged them down. But this was the original painting that was on this layout. This is a painting done by Renoir of Julia Manet. And this entire book is all about art. You take a boring page and turn it into a work of art. Well, you attempt to turn it into a work of art. You do your own art around it. And look, what did I do to that loaf of bread? It's getting moldy. Maybe that's pimento. I don't know. What am I going to do about that? Oh, no. I don't know if I can get that off. My bread is turning moldy. Help. I think I dried it. I did. Well, I don't know if I can recoup from that one other than painting it out. I think I'm just going to leave it. Maybe that's why he's crying. Maybe that's why he's got such an yeah. Maybe that's why his face is so unhappy, is because he went to the market to get a loaf of bread, and all that was left was the moldy bread. Roquefort on it. I don't know what Roquefort is. That's a new word for me, Artie Jackie. I'll have to look that one up. But it doesn't sound very tasty. That does not look tasty. But that explains his expression on his face. Blue cheese? Is that what it is? Oh. Well, I like blue cheese. He needs to be smiling. Maybe he doesn't like... Yeah, it must be blue cheese that he's carrying, Lillian. He must not like blue cheese. He does not look happy. I think he's not happy because all that was left was a dry crust of bread with blue cheese, because this other guy came along and got the big submarine sandwich and there wasn't any more tasty, crusty bread left. So I have been putting titles on these, except for this one that I cannot think of a good title for. And I'm wondering about this one. Now Laura says, I don't think she's here tonight, but she says you don't need a title on every page, and you know she's right. The page does speak for itself, but I like to put something on there. I cleaned out my A Day's Pay. I love it. He's missing the wine. He is. I'll have to find some images of wine, and I don't know if I could sneak it in his basket or if I should not enable a minor. That is A Day's Pay. That's what it's going to be. And I put good black paint in my fine liner this afternoon. It should not be the juicy kind that's been irritating me the last... The wine is on his face. He's whiny. That's funny. That's funny. That is true. What was that? Let's see. Let's see. A Day's Pay. I think it would fit in here. I like to make my A's like that. Yeah. I'm even halfway happy with my writing there. What should I put up here? It needs something up here. In France, even the little kids have wine. My mom was born and raised in France, and there was always wine on the table. A little food, but plenty of wine. That's interesting, Lillian. A cold with his thoughts. Explain to me, Artie, Jackie. Don't cry over moldy bread. Or blue cheese. Cloud. A cloud could be the journaling spot. And I like that don't cry over moldy bread suggestion. I do like that. And this is going to be the cloud. And this will give me a good journaling spot. And let's put a little bit more cloud over in here. And I feel like I need to do something to that. A happy dinner table, I'll bet. I like that. Don't cry over moldy bread. Heat gun alert. They had to work whether it was cold or rainy to put food on the table. This says so much. It really does, Janet. It really does. You know, I like the idea of maybe putting some rain on here somehow. Now that you say that, Janet. I'll have to... Laura, hi. Oh, don't apologize. I was late getting started. He looks cold and sad, doesn't he? Well, actually, this photo was from the Depression era. So, it was depicting the hard times of that 10 years. And I don't know if I would imagine that would be in the United States. I did not pay that much attention when I cut out the photograph. This was out of the... He looks sad, doesn't he? Laura, you missed it. This is my slice of bread here. And I was doing all my painting and I did a Subway sandwich. This was really originally a French loaf of bread. And while I was putting my lettuce in there or something, I got green over here. And we decided, well, we decided that it was either mold or blue cheese. So if it's moldy, that explains the expression on his face. And if it's blue cheese, we decided he doesn't like blue cheese. But Kat, I want to put a journaling spot in here. And Kat suggested don't cry over moldy bread. So that's what I'm going to do. Hopefully. It's got to be smaller, and I don't want to put my hand in that wet paint down there. So, can I do this without getting my head in the camera? Don't cry. You know, the cry could go with the raindrops, too. It's kind of a crooked cry. Over. Moldy. And it's going to have to be a little bread. B-R-E-A-D. I might paint that out and put my bread over there, but I'm going to leave it like it is for right now. When I'm live, I never really like the decisions that I make. I like this part, don't cry over moldy, but I think I should have put bread over here. So after this all dries, I'll come back and paint this out with a little blue there and a little white there and put another little cloud down there and put my bread down there. Now I think that I want more over here. I feel like I want to put a house or something over here. I'm going to get out my red fine liner, because this picture kind of floated in the center of the page, and I think I want to draw another rooftop here. We'll just draw it this way and put some windows in here maybe. I'm not watching the chat, so... And like that, maybe a window here. Look, there's a figure in the window up there. What figure? Oh, there's a flower pot there. That looks like a lady. I'd have to zoom in on it. I have a brown. I put a brown fine liner, but it's the fine liner. It's the 20 gauge. And I really prefer those for writing that I'm going to draw with it up here. Maybe put some rooftops here. Shingles. No, just paint it out. And put a little chimney. And it needs a porch of sorts. And then I'm going to put some cobblestones. This is the street. These are cobblestone streets. I'm going to leave that. What you talking about? Let me see. I tell you, I'm always learning with these fine liners. I'm never quite done learning. I'm going to get out the blue and try to draw some raindrops, because I think the raindrops will go with the crying. Probably go with the cobblestones too. Wow, this is juicy. I'm going to do a practice one down here. Could really do white raindrops in there. Let's put them over here. That D almost looks like a raindrop. It's raining on a clear... Hi, Kathy. It's good to see you. It's raining on a clear day. That's because he's crying over his moldy bread. Should have some gray in that sky for the rain. This is one of these rains, freak rains, where the sky's blue and it still rains. You leaving, Lucia? Oh, bye, Kat. Thanks for dropping by. I am going to put just a few white rainy drops in here. We don't want to give him a soggy sandwich. I guess that would be a reason to cry too. Don't cry over soggy bread. That's good enough. Yeah, I saw that. After I said bye to you, Kat, I saw that you were saying, bye, Kat. Thank you so much for stopping by. Lillian says, it was actually thundering this afternoon with the sun shining and blue sky, so anything goes. Well, good. Good, because that's what I have here. Blue sky and raindrops, which could really be teardrops. I'm going to put a border around this, because I like to border my pages. And when I put the borders around here, I don't care if the lines are not straight. I don't care if they're crooked, and most of the time they are, because I'm not going to put border there. Because I don't have a steady hand, I'm standing up. And even when I do have a steady hand, I think I just prefer them irregular. Yeah, we'll put it down in here like that. Yeah, I think I'm going to call that done. It's 5 a.m., so I'm off to... Bye, Artie Jackie. Thank you so much for stopping by. I know it's really early there. Wobbly looks good. Thank you, Lillian. Whoops. Did Pat leave? Oh, no, she was saying good night to Pat. All right. And you know what? It's getting kind of dark here. I'm going to turn my little... I've got an light, a table lamp. I'm going to have to move my paint so I don't knock it off. I knocked paint off on the floor last week. I'm going to turn my light on so you'll see a glare. Let's see if I can get rid of that glare a little. There. So I think we're going to call this done. I'm really happy with it. You guys, I think with your help, these pages are getting better every time we do something. The only thing that I really want to paint out is the word bread, and I think I'm going to move it down over this way. So, I'm going to move it off over here to the other side of the room, let it dry. And I'm going to move my, whoops, I bumped my camera. So I thought maybe I'd do, that's my camera wiggling. I thought maybe I'd do some art on my drop paper. It got all these little lids. I'm not going to try to put them on my fine liners till afterwards. Because you have to have steady hands, steel nerves, and eagle eyes. I'm going to move my fine liners, moving everything off over to the left here. What I want to do is, I have some of these, which are Tim Holtz die cuts, and my Elmer's glue. And I thought what I would do is, I got these for Happy Mail when I sent out my altered paint brushes. I think I put Happy Mail, put them in as little Happy Mail images along with the paint brushes. And this is what I have left. And instead of this stuff just piling up, I'm going to collage them down on my drop paper and do reverse collage around them. Except, whoops, I keep bumping my camera. I'm not used to my camera being where it's at. My head keeps bumping it. And I just like the idea of putting these down here, except for I think I'll keep an area in the center because I usually work in here. I think I'll just put them all around here. And I'm going to use Elmer's glue to do this because these are, they're not chipboard, but they're a strong paper. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Joanne. Thank you, Laura. Joanne, I'll probably do a finish on that page anyway. I usually come back the next day with a finish video. And I'm going to clean it up just a little. I don't think there's a lot to clean up on this page. I'm pretty happy with it. Ooh, some of that stuck together anyway. And I'm just going to, hopefully really fast, glue these down any old place on my drop paper while you're watching. You know what I should do is turn them all upside down like this, and then I would know which ones I have done. Well, I don't think of these things until later. So I was watching Barb Owens live this afternoon. She does such a cool job. She was making cards out of her paste paper. So neat. I've never made paste paper. Oh, I glued that one down. I was going to kind of keep the center. I think I'll just put them there, and if I get paint on them, I get paint on them. I'm not much of a card maker. You know, you're going to have to go back and watch. Does anybody have a good explanation for what paste paper is? I've never really made it, so I don't want to give an authoritative definition of it. Aren't those neat? To me, what it looks like is just a really pretty painted paper that you use to collage down, but I don't want to mislead anybody with that definition. I have never made what I thought I would call as paste paper. So you're going to have to go watch Barb Owens' video. She's got a video on how she makes her paste paper. I'll let her explain it. She's the authority. I would probably say something and then say it wrong because I'm famous for doing that. But what she did was really pretty. I mean, it was, to me, it looked like a beautiful painted paper. And she wove it. And she didn't just weave it in. Oh, go ahead, Joanne, please do. Please do, because my camera's jiggling. Please do. Because I'm not an authority. I never pretend to be one. And if you did a video on it, Joanne's going to tell us what it is. She said she did a video on it, so let's see what she says. She's probably typing it out for us. But Barb did, oh my goodness, I love the way she used it for weaving. Because she did what I call wavy weaves, and it was really pretty. And then she mounted it on like a mat, and then mounted the mats on cards and made cards out of them. They were really neat. I enjoyed watching her. So my thought here is to glue these down, and then I'm going to put some paint around them, like reverse collage. These are the images I want to keep. And then I'm going to use my fine line paint applicators to kind of do lacy pieces around them, is my thinking. And of course, these are not, I'm going to have to go back after the live session, and I'll touch up the pieces that aren't glued good. You mix paint with a thicker, and then drag a comb through it and let it dry, and then do another layer and another. Cool! Like a gel medium, Joanne? That's your thickener, is like a heavy gel medium? Yeah, they did have combed images. I didn't get the part about the comb. That's neat. And of course I'm going to have a little triangle up in my upper right hand corner where my lamp is. Oh, it's wallpaper paste. Oh, and maybe that's why they call it paste paper. Oh, okay. Cool. Well, let me tell you, I enjoyed her video. She always does nice videos, but I haven't had, until recently, a lot of time to go watch on Friday afternoons. If any of you have not met Joanne or Lucia, Lucia McGill has a channel. There she is there. It says very interesting. Lucia McGill has a channel. If you have not found her channel, it's right under her, the same as her name. Go check her out. Let's get her up to 500 subbies. That's my goal for you, Lucia. So go check out her channel, and if you're liking what you see, give her a shout out and a subscribe and say hello and wave. And Joanne has a channel. Joanne is Arty Farty Fairy. She has a channel, and she does beautiful work. It's under Arty Farty Fairy, isn't it, Joanne? Yeah, hit her picture next to her name and it'll take you to her channel. And Patricia has a channel. I don't think you have a channel yet, do you, Janet? Janet should have a channel. I see Janet when she shares her artwork on Facebook, and I get always ooh and ah over it. Let's see, who else is in here that has a channel? Kathy, do you have a channel? If you do, let us know. Laura, I'm not sure whether you gals have channels. I'm kind of scrolling back here to see who's in here. Karen, I know from way back. Patricia Stubbs has a channel. It's right, it's under her name. Janet. Annie HX, I call you Annie, has a channel. I think it's under Annie, isn't it, Annie? Excuse me for, I'm holding my camera trying to scroll back. Janet, do you have a channel? I'm missing that. So, Lucia does beautiful December dailies. That's how I know her. And I wanted to do Christmas in July, and I may still do it, but I'm not sure. Oh, okay, Janet. You should. Okay, since I already have a spot of blue up here, I'm just going to take my finger and kind of smear it. And what else can I smear? I feel like I need yellow. And I have a big bottle of yellow over here that is just sitting here waiting for me to open it. I haven't even opened it yet. I use my craft scissors to pull this little. I feel like I need yellow on this. Hi, Aunt Beck. Aunt Beck has a channel. Nikki has a Cars and Decats Life. She has a channel, Nikki. Go check them out. If I missed you and you have a channel, say something so that we can find you. I'm just putting yellow paint on here, and I'm going to just kind of put it as a a drop paper reverse collage exercise. All this is die cuts, leftover die cuts. I want to use them up instead of letting them accumulate in my stash. And I thought this might be a good project to do after I did that journal page. Now I think I want some lavender. Lavender. That's red. Here it is. Do, Kathy. We'd love to see. Kathy does beautiful work too. What else do I need? Maybe more blue, a lighter blue. Turquoise blue I have here. It's Key West. It's more of a blue-green. I don't know what I'm going to get here. Messy hands, I think. Oh, I need some up here. Okay, now I'm just going to kind of smear paint around these images. Now this is brown craft paper, so I would think that some of this paint, this is craft paint, I find that the craft paper tends to absorb a little. Maybe it won't be so much on this when I'm just messing with painting. Smearing paint in the background here is what I'm attempting to do. And I'm not watching the camera at all, so I'm missing any comments if you're saying something to me. And my hands are now officially painty again, so I'm not going to touch my camera screen. I'll have to scroll back. Ooh, I kind of like the way these fade into the background here. I'll have to go back and glue them down a little better though, because I've just really kind of tacked them on there. Cindy. Hi! I didn't see you sneak in because I have my fingers full of paint. Cindy is Artsy Endeavors. And Cindy signs others. She does host those Google Hangouts that we love on Tuesdays mostly, and if it's not on Tuesdays, she's showing up on a Thursday. Good to see you, Cindy. Cindy, I finished my page in my art journal. I did a reverse collage in that crafty Childcraft Encyclopedia, and with their help, I bumped my camera. With their help, I finished it really fast, and so I have these die cuts left over, these Tim Holtz die cuts, and I'm just gluing them down on a fresh piece of drop paper, which is just brown craft paper, and then I'm just painting around them with kind of reverse collage style. Speed fishing. Lucia, I remember when you... Who doodled in church? Oh, this one didn't get glued down. I'll have to glue it down. I'll save this one for the corner up there. Yeah, if you have not found Cindy Signs Utter, Artsy Endeavors, there's another channel to check out. Go sub. I'm giving channel shout outs. Your husband doodled in church. Oh. Well, you know what? Okay. Maybe you can take the same attitude as doodling in a business meeting and saying, when you doodle, that means that you're listening closer and you actually pay more attention and hear better when you're doodling in these business meetings than not. That's the theory. See, it's kind of soaking in here. I don't know if you can see where I'm pointing because it's down in here. It's kind of soaking into this craft paper. It's kind of absorbing this paint a little. Boy, I didn't realize there's a lot to cover here. This is about, well, about 2 by 3. It's the size of a foam core board that you would buy at the dollar store. It's what everything is mounted on. But I must have at least 7 or 8 layers of drop paper under this. And eventually I'm going to take it all off and do a project with it. Eventually. Lucia, I don't think I'll do anything on the back of this one. These poor birds got... Isn't this fun? You know, I usually do not work it. Oh, this one didn't get glued down either. I'll have to come back and glue a couple of these down over what I'm doing. That one didn't get glued down. I got 3 that didn't get glued down. But that's okay. I'm not going to stop now. Just finish what I'm doing here. These are really not in my color palette. See, look, it's that craft paper is absorbing it. My color palette really tends more toward the earth tones, browns, grays, dark reds, and these are more pastels, which surprises me that I even have them. I like this blue. And Cindy, if you're still here, Cindy Utter, I am using that clamp, that phone holder that I ordered from Walmart, and I like it except for my head keeps hitting it. It's got a gooseneck, and I like how it's situated, but my head keeps hitting it because I'm not used to it being right in front of my face. So I got to get used to that. I'm going to put some blue over here, I think. And maybe some more yellow. This is kind of fun. And if there's anybody who's the painter in this chat, it's Miss Cindy. I drool over her painted papers. I keep telling her she has a wonderful, wonderful sense of color, and she does. There's something there. Put that in the way. I got the wastebasket down there. Now I'm not caring if the paint smears off onto the image. And I got just a little in here to go and a little up in here, and I think I'll get out my fine line paint applicator. And Cindy, I'm still on the data, but I'm on the local. hoping that it hits a local tower before it hits a global one. I'm hoping that that will help the quality. I did not get the message this week that I have a poor connection, but the gals said that there was some pixelation. I don't see the pixelation until after the video processes, and then I see it. But as I look at my camera, of course I'm looking at my camera and not the probably what's being sent out. Okay, I think I'm going to call that good for smearing. I'm going to clean off my hands a little here. It is pixelated. Hi Melissa, I didn't see you come in. I'm trying to wipe a little of this off of my hands. Oh, I'm sorry, Joanne. Joanne, it must be the tiny hours of the morning. Do I have autofocus on? I might. It doesn't show, but as I have my camera on and not the, as I'm looking at the Android app, it does not show me an autofocus option. But when I look at my camera app, it might have autofocus on, and I might need to turn that off. I am over data on a phone on Verizon. That might be the problem, Cindy. I'm going to keep experimenting, just keep throwing those things out because, but I do think I'm going to get Wi-Fi. I'm missing my Wi-Fi. I want it back. So, yeah, I really do need that. I agree, Melissa. So, but it's not going to happen for me for a couple weeks yet. So, I have my black fine liner because I think it'll show up better. I dropped the white one. And what I want to do is kind of emphasize these. And I'm trying not to drag that nozzle in the paint too much because I don't want to clog up the nozzle. I'm trying, and I know I'm dragging it some, but I'm trying to lightly go over the area of the page here. I might need to, where's my rag? I have a painty rag here. I would clean off my nozzle every now and then to... And all I'm doing is kind of emphasizing the shapes. And then I'm going to connect the shapes. And I just kind of want to do these free. And I have 3 that are not glued down. One will go up here where in the corner where my lamp is. And then there are 2 that go down in the lower right hand. Cindy, the answer is yes, you have to do it. Cindy does a wonderful job with the Google Chats, and I just know that if you went live, people would love you. You would have an audience. I would come. There's a little bird up here. And I'm just going to I'm kind of concentrating on doing these. This is kind of fun, guys. I feel, you know what I feel like? I feel like I should have done this in grade school. I never got to do this in grade school. And you know what? This area is not painted yet. And it's dry, I think. I'm going to hold off on this area up here because I've got to do that corner anyway. I'll just do these. And this is not dry. I don't want to drag my fine liner through it. I think this lower right and the upper right I'm going to save for later. the whole right hand side. There. Now, you do, Melissa. You get a lot done. I was watching. I need to check your streams out. You stream. Do you have a schedule, Melissa, or do you just stream whenever you get ready to? I was watching Melissa do pours. She was so patient with us, telling her what colors to use. And she did it. We'd say, do black, do gold, do dark brown. Yeah, Aunt Beck was there too. Now, I'm just going to do, I think I'm going to do some wavy lines to kind of connect. Of course, that one's not going to connect, but I don't know what I'm doing here. Except for I'm thinking wavy lines. And I'm not watching the chat again. It must be neat to have family helping you do the videos. I'm not sure I like those. I would love to see you do a live, Joanne. I think I'm just going to carry on. It doesn't look like anything yet, but I think I'll just carry on. It usually doesn't get pretty until I put in my little dots. They always add an elegance to my page. So right now it's just kind of lines. And I'm calling them wavy lines. And over on the right hand side here is still wet. I think I'm just going to leave that right hand side. Not even go there, Mary. You know what would be fun to do, but it would take the patience, is to do a filet crochet. And I did that in one of my art journals a couple years ago. And it took me forever, but I really liked it. It was a 2-page layout in like the larger visual, Strathmore Visual Stories. But I really liked it when it was done. It's not so wavy down there. Wait a minute, who came in? Leanne? Lena? Who came in? Hi, Lena. Okay, now I'm going to go this way. This kind of takes a little effort, but I always like it when it's done. For those who just came in, I don't know who just came in. I saw Lena just come in. I finished an art journal page, and so I had some time, and what I did was I glued some extra leftover Tim Holtz die cuts down on my drop paper, and then I just painted around them with my fingers, smeared paint around them. And now I'm using my fine line paint applicator just to draw connecting lines, and it doesn't look like much right now. This is kind of the stage where you go, is this going to work? But I think it will once I get the rest of it in there. I might need to do a double line around my images to bring them out just a little bit more. And I'm not watching the chat. I'm concentrating on getting these lines in here as fast as I can. And I'm going to leave the right hand side of the page because I need to glue some images down, and I think I'm going to go around these again and make them really dark around the images here so that they stand out a little bit more. I mean, I'm just really oozing the paint down on this drop paper. But I want a thicker line around here. I don't know where I'm working now, if you can see it down in here. You can see a part of it. The black really adds a... Bye, Nikki. Oh, he's been called to the fire station. Melissa, all I have in my fine line paint applicator is this apple barrel craft paint. That's all that I have in. Of course, I have black in this one. I washed out all my nozzles of all my fine line paint applicators, which total 6. I washed out all the nozzles and refilled them all with paint, but I have a feeling this black one's going to run out on me because I'm really oozing the paint on this page. But I really like these big thick black lines. I think they bring out the images. And then let's see, I'm not going to do that side of the page because it's getting late. I'm just going to come in here. I like to put lots of little, I call them the dots, elegant dots. I like to put little dots in there. I think they just add. And I'm not particular about where I'm putting them, except for I know I want them in between. Of course, if you were doing needlework, these would be picots and you would have them spaced pretty between your lines. But you know, when you look at a tablecloth or a curtain, the fabric naturally folds. So you are never going to, unless you have that curtain stretched or that tablecloth stretched taut and straight, all these lines will never look straight anyway because of the natural folds of the fabric. So if I just kind of put my dots wherever I need to do the bird, it's kind of a weird shape. Yeah, let me do this one. I think I'm down to the juicy part of my... I refilled this black one with a thicker paint, but I still had some juicy stuff in there. And I think I'm down to the juicy stuff because it is really oozing out. Now, I don't know if I'm completely happy with this, but I'm going to quit. I might come back tomorrow. Lena, these are fine line paint applicators. They're called fine liner paint applicators, and that's what they're called. You can get them online. I don't know what country you're in or where you're at, but in the States you can get them online on Amazon, at Dick Blick, and at Joann's. And retail, I get mine at Hobby Lobby. So with the yellow nozzle, the yellow tip here is what they call a standard 18 gauge. And it gives kind of a medium line. And then the blue tip, which is this one, is a 20 gauge, and it gives a finer line in there. It's a smaller nozzle. I have craft paint in both of these. The only one that I don't have craft paint in is I'm waiting for it to get used up. A couple years ago I filled this one with a bronze metallic, and I was doing a 30-day art challenge that Gina Ahrens was doing, June of 2011 or 12. That's how old this paint is. But I had it out, and I cleaned out the nozzle today, and the paint is still, I just put a little water in it. I don't usually put water in it, but I really like working with these. But I might come in tomorrow. I'm going to let this all dry. Don't be surprised if this all changes. I like it, but I might do some more finger painting on here. I feel like I need to do maybe like a little more of a wash over these black lines. I'll play with it. Okay, Lillian, thank you so much for stopping by. So guys, I am done. I can't do any more on my tabletop because it's filled with paint. So, thank you, Melissa. It's gonna change. Watch the next video I do. It probably won't even look like this. I gotta do more work on the right-hand side. But it's fun to do this. It's really fun. Thank you, Janet. You guys give me all sorts of good tips on my... Thank you, Annie. Lena. Oh, that's okay. That's all right, Lena. Bye, Kathy. The paper is about 2 feet by 3 feet, approximately, Melissa. But if you go to the Dollar Tree and buy a foam core board, that's what's under. Rosemary, I didn't even see you come in. And who else is in here? Lisa? Hi, Rosemary. Hi, Lisa. Bye, Rosemary. Bye, Lisa. Bye, Nikki. I didn't even see you guys sneak in. I was busy doing my stuff. Bye, Patricia. Thank you all for coming. You guys, you do my heart good. You do my heart good. Thank you so much. And everybody have a really, really good weekend. Good night. Ditto, Letty. Ditto, Melissa. Good night, Joanne. All right, I'm hitting the finish button. Here it goes. Click.